Hello friends, old and new. How we doing today? Welcome back to Canyon City Creations. My name is Connie. I'll be your humble host for the day. Well, actually I'm the only host ever. But that doesn't make me any less humble. I'll be your humble host today, coming to you from beautiful Canyon City, Colorado, in the foothills of the Front Range of the Rocky Mountains. So last week I talked about some of the things I wanted to do on this week's video. I said I was going to squeeze in another painting, and I was going to show you some of the epoxy resin works that I've been able to complete this week. But I really wanted to focus this video on the painting that I did. Part of the creative process for artists really is just trial and error. It really doesn't matter how much education you have, how much skill and talent and natural ability you have. We get a vision in our head, we put it on a canvas, and it doesn't turn out the way that we envisioned. And that happened to me in this particular case. So let's talk about that a little bit. And before I get started on it, I want to go ahead and show you a few clips from the process of making this painting. And then I'll bring you back in and we'll talk about the mistakes that I made. And if you're an artist, you'll be able to spot them out right away. Trust me. So watch this and I'll be right back. All right, I started with two 16 by 20 canvases, just white canvases, and I painted them black. I did paint a little bit of dark blue across the bottom portion of both canvases to represent the water, but it didn't show up very well. So that was mistake number one. Mistake number two, look at all the different colors I got going on here. So I've got metallics, mattes, and I've got the neon blacklight colors as well. I used black as a cell activator. I put some silicone oil in my black to use as a cell activator. I then started to create my cityscape, and this is a cosmic cityscape. My first mistake was I put too much paint on there, and I put it all the way across the canvas instead of doing smaller sections at a time with the different colors. My goal was to have the buildings be different colors going across, 2 or 3 different colors. And my paints were way too thin. Look at the red, the burgundy red that I've got there is really running a lot, so I had to literally just wipe it off. And I didn't have a lot of bright colors in there that I wanted to show up with just regular daylight, so I added a little bit more of the neon pink, and then I spread those out, added a little bit more, and then eventually I put a line of black cell activator all the way across the center to create a more definitive shoreline. And I was hoping that some of that black would open up some cells, you know, just to kind of create some effect. It did not, so that's mistake, what, number 3 or 4? And here I'm just using a regular old putty knife to spread the colors. I use different items, my painter's knives, little putty knife. I've used lots of different things, cake decorating spatulas. I've used a lot of different items to do this kind of effect. So then after I get done doing this one, I go to the other canvas and I create just a little bit more of the city. And then I started with the night sky and the galaxy effect. So what I did there was a split cup pour, open cup pour for the galaxy. You can see it there. And a little bit more of the city. I've got both the canvases here together. I had to let the galaxy there dry overnight before I could start painting planets or anything. So I spent the time trying to get some brighter color and some more definitive lines for my cityscape, because I noticed right away there's no consistency between the buildings on the shore and the buildings' reflections in the water. It's not consistent at all. So and then I dragged my airbrush hose through that little bright blue section and scraped up all my galaxy paint, so I had to do another little tiny pour. And that I decided to make that a part of a planet that would be part of my cityscape with a lot of ocean water, looks like. But you can see already that the split cup pour that I did has completely washed out and muted out. So, but I went ahead and tried to make my planets, just shadowing in some yellow for, you know, light reflection with my airbrush. And all of that went pretty well. But I decided that the planet was just too big. I should have stopped where I was and gotten a smaller stencil. And I probably could have salvaged it, but I didn't. And it's just way too big. And I tried to fix that by airbrushing in more black shadow at the top part. And it just, I don't know, it just didn't have the right effect that I liked. But anyway, this is the finished, or almost finished product. Right? So I've got my, I think I've got my canvases backwards here, but under the black light it actually looks pretty cool, as you can see. And those lines that I added in for my cityscape actually do kind of pop. But if you just saw this only under the black light, you wouldn't have a clue what it was. What it was. So it just, I don't know, it just doesn't quite do it for me. So, you know, I don't know. We'll see. Maybe next time. But like I said, I'm going to try to redo this on just one canvas, so we'll see how that turns out. Okay, so you were probably able to tell right away. One of the mistakes, the biggest mistake that I made was my paints were a little bit too thin. So some of them were really thin. And also I just put too much paint on my canvases. So when I started to scrape up and down to make my cityscape, it didn't come out the way that I planned at all. So then after everything dried, I saw how dull the colors looked in just regular daylight or room light. It does still look kind of cool under the black light, as you could see, but it's still, if you didn't know what it was, you wouldn't be able to tell under the black light or any other light. So I'm going to redo this painting, only I'm not going to split it onto two canvases. I'm just going to do it on one bigger canvas. But let's talk about some of the mistakes I made. So as you can see, the colors really don't pop very well. Even some of the fluorescents, even though they pop, I didn't get a consistent, what I was going for was this would be the water, and these would be the reflections of the buildings on the water. And there's not very good consistency. They don't match up real well, and I wasn't pleased with that at all, so I didn't like that at all. That was on this one. And on this part, couple of problems. I think I did a little bit better on the city part, but my space is not right. First of all, the planet is way too big. It looks like it's crashing into this city. So I didn't like that. I tried to make it smaller, you know, less prevalent by shadowing it in more, but it really didn't work. Also, all of these colors here, these are all the neon blacklight colors and how they look under this light. And it's because when I used my split cup, I had some black paint in one of the sections right in the middle. And I think it just really washed out a lot of that neon brightness. So even though it shows up under the black light, it's not very vibrant in regular light. Also, my nebula is encroaching onto the front side of the planet, and all of this stuff should be behind the planet we're sitting on right now. So whether you're an artist or a scientist, this just doesn't work. So I'm going to scrap this one. I might be able to reuse the canvases though, so I'm going to hang on to the canvases for a while. So I'm going to scrap that idea and start over, and that'll probably be the result of next week's video. So at any rate, let's move on to the next thing. So I got a lot of magnets and wine bottle stoppers or toppers done this week. So I'm going to show you some of those. I actually just finished these yesterday. And I realized the last time I filmed these, I played back the videos when trying to make this one, and I was holding these things way too close to the camera, so they just got kind of blurry. So I'm going to try it again. So I made some magnets, and I did some designs with some alcohol ink and some glitters. So here's one of them. I really love this design. This is the back. I haven't painted the back. I will paint the back of these in a variety of different colors. Here's another one. I really like that one too. It's really pretty. So very sparkly. Oops. Here's another one. This one's kind of cool too. I really like that one. But I will paint the back of them different colors. I do have some different colored magnets that I used here, different alcohol inks that I used. Another purple heart. Really like that one. These are kind of cool too. Little red and black ones there. So I'll paint a variety of different colors, let them dry, and then I just glue the magnets on. Okay. And wine bottle toppers. Grab these. The wine bottle toppers I've gotten done turn out looking like this, and I've already showed you a couple of these. I think it's this one and this one I think I had in last week's video. But I did do some more. Got some that have just some marbles in it. Looks like a little planetary system in there. This one's the same, but in red. This one as well, which is really cool. And then I made some more, and let's see, let me show it to you this way, it's easier. So if you can see, these edges are pretty rough and sharp. This is where you pour the resin into the mold. So I just use my little rotary tool right here, and I sand those off. And this is another one that I made. I really like this one. It's got like a silver top and then a violet to blue color shift mica powders in there. The same thing with this one. It's a little translucent at the bottom. It's pretty cool looking. So with these here in this little box, I've already done that. I have sanded them down, and then I put another little layer of epoxy just with my finger to bring the shine back and the clarity back. So I did that with all of these. So these I just need to put the stoppers on them, and those will be ready to go. This one's pretty. This is a blue mica powder one with a little bit of orange striation coming through. And then I just have some plain glitter balls. This one's got some silver foil leaf in it with some blue alcohol inks. I've got 2 floating layers of glitter in here. So that's what I'm going to be working on this week, plus the new painting. But also, if you look behind me here, I've got a whole little metal sign full of magnets, and I did post a picture on Facebook earlier with a picture of them all. I think you're able to enlarge and focus in and get a little bit more detail on those. I'm not going to put those on Facebook Marketplace or on Etsy because I'm going to be selling them in sets of 6, and I'm going to let buyers choose whichever 6 they want, no matter what size or colors they are. So that's something that you're probably going to want to do in person or at a craft show. I'm trying to get in on some for a little bit later this summer and fall, probably in the Colorado Springs area or the Pueblo area. So when and if those events come about, I'll let you know in plenty of time, and you can come on out and see me. So, all right. Let me put you on pause, and then I'm going to bring you back and show you some of the other things that I've done this week. All right, so I did a coaster and tray, serving tray set this week. Here is the tray. I put some handles on it. I still need to do another thin layer of clear epoxy resin on the top, which I will do probably this weekend. It's got some dimples and stuff I want to get rid of. But it's just a little river, rushing river scene. Some hillsides and some rocks along the river. And I have the matching coasters to go with it. So I've already done some of the gold trim on the sides. I'm also going to do it on the back. I need to redo this one. It needs another layer on there. so that when you are looking at them, this is what it looks like with gold in the background. So it makes those colors, those blues, really pop. So that is one of the projects that I got done this week, along with the wine bottle toppers and the magnets. And here's something else that I am working on. Get these out of the way. This is something else that I'm working on that I will be using for to use as a sign at craft shows and fairs. And I might even actually make another one and put it on my front gate at my house, because I just think it's kind of cool. So I just started it last night, so this is just going to be a sign, and I'm just using some stencils. I put a circle in there. I did a drawing similar to the Royal Gorge drawing that I did several videos back. It's kind of my inspiration for a logo. It's going to say Canyon City Creations, so I bought some stencils and I'm in the process of putting that on. I'm just sketching it all in pencil first, and then I'm going to go over it with some of my paint pens and a couple of other things, and then I'll put a coat of epoxy resin over the whole thing to protect it and seal it. And it'll make it a lot nicer for traveling around a lot too, so make it a little tougher. So that is what I'm working on right now. Also, I wanted to mention, and I don't know if I've mentioned this before, I have a lot of friends that are living the van life, you know, and are traveling around in their RVs and stuff all over the country, which is awesome. I would love to do that and bring my entire art studio with me. That'd be the ultimate dream for me. But I do have a lot of friends that do this. So these kinds of things, like the bowl sets and the coasters, these are super durable and great items to have in your van or your RV when you're traveling, because they don't break. Even if you get jostled around on a bumpy dirt road, you're going to be okay. So it's a good use for stuff like that. They don't just have to be fancy gifts for your house or anything like that. You can take them with you because they're durable and portable. So just a suggestion that I had. And this weekend, along with the replacement painting and a few other things, I am going to be making my spoons, my wooden spoons here. I'm going to be making some wooden spoons and a matching vase to go with them. I got to finish this one. These are already epoxied. Let me just show it to you. These are already epoxied. I think I've shown them before. And I want to make a matching container for them. So I have a couple of other sets over here. I've seen these before. I've got purple, and I've got like this orange and black one, purple and black ones. So I'm going to be working on those. I have another set of plain spoons right here. And I haven't decided what colors I'm going to use on those yet, but I'll be making those as well. So hopefully by the time I get to my very first arts and crafts show, I'll have quite a bit of inventory for people to look at and stuff to sell. So that's it. That's all I have for today. I want to thank everybody for stopping by and joining in. Hopefully the video was useful for you if you're an artist or a crafter at home and you like some of this stuff and want to try it out for yourself. Hopefully you can learn from my mistakes so you don't waste all the product that I've wasted. I have wasted a lot of paints and a lot of epoxy sometimes just through trial and error, but that's okay. So if you wouldn't mind doing me one last favor, and I know you hear this on every YouTube video that you watch, but yeah, it helps me to drive sales if you like, share, comment, subscribe, all of those things. You know, I'm not trying to make a living off of YouTube videos. I'm trying to make a living off of artwork. But YouTube is a great marketing place and a great way for me to drive sales. And it's free to just like, subscribe, share, and please do comment. I really do like to hear your opinions and your ideas. And if there's something that you'd like to see me do, please, you know, let me know in the comments section, and I'll do my best to fulfill your requests if I can. So, again, thank you very much. We'll see you next week. Have a happy, artful life. Bye.